My name is Allison Lauer, and thank you for joining me today in Howell Park, located in sunny Atlantic Beach, Florida. We'll be discussing the presence of joy in the Life in Balance series. My quest for understanding and embracing joy started about 10 years ago. I was working right down the road at one of my favorite jobs, at One Ocean Resort and Spa. I was helping a gentleman one day when he said, "Allison, you are the most joyful person." I politely thanked him, but honestly, I was a little surprised. I thought about what he said that night. Over and over again in my mind, I was perplexed. This brilliant man, a doctor from Sudan, thought I was joyful? Admittedly, I am over-optimistic, organized, and at times annoyingly peppy, but not joyful. As I thought about this though, I really wanted to be. I wanted to be joyful. So later on in my very small apartment off Ahern Street, I mustered up all the feelings of my 4-year-old self. All I was missing was an oversized bow and snug Mickey Mouse dress. Right then and there, I decided I wanted joy, and joy was what I was going to get. So as a consummate overachiever, I dove right into my search. I reached out to friends, mentors, and strangers, hoping to uncover the key to unlocking the mystery of joy. Heck, I even started my own Facebook page. I watched TED Talks and motivational speakers discuss the topic. I even uncovered common links. I had a good understanding between happiness and joy. But soon I realized I was the typical millennial, afflicted with the achievement syndrome or happiness concept. I believed there was a mysterious and magical rainbow behind every goal I set or achievement I reached. Each benchmark held this novel prize of feeling whole and happy. There was no glory or joy for the process or road in my little world. Wow, we can agree there are some serious faults with that train of thinking. Let's go over where I stood. There I was with a good job, a wonderful family, amazing friends, encouraging boyfriend, and I thought I was lacking everything. Oh man, was I wrong. I wasn't lacking anything. I was on my journey, and there's beauty in all parts of the journey. This gigantic and life-changing realization helped me. Fast forward to today, I constantly am reminded with the importance of the pains and blossoms that I encounter throughout my life. What I found in my expedition of joy seeking is that you need to possess 2 important things to realize and enjoy joy every day. The first is courage. Now, Americans don't like to talk about courage often or even use it in our language, but I love it. I see it being used all around me. It's that mom daring to wear a new outfit outside her comfort zone and post on social media. Go ahead, mama, you look good. Or how about that young man that says, today, I'm not going to smoke a cigarette. And he musters every ounce of bravery while constantly looking at the clock, wishing the minutes to go by. That's bravery. Or how about the person that dares to stand up to their employer and say, I'm leaving at 6 p.m. No, I can't stay longer today. No, I can't help anymore. These are all acts of courage. We may view these as ordinary, mundane, or outright necessary, but it doesn't diminish their shine, their importance, and their courage that's deeply rooted in each one of them. So there are cheap acts of courage. They're what I refer to as baby steps, because after all, they're still steps. So if you believe yourself not to have courage, if you are the lion in Oz, don't worry, there's hope for you. Just move slow. Maybe ask someone out at a bar, start the new food program, or say no to a friend. Start slow. Working on you is scary. Believe me, working on me is terrifying and world-shattering. It is literally only second to being a new mom. If you're watching this, would you please take one moment to write in the comment section one of your acts of courage? Awesome. I can't wait to read your acts of courage because I know you have them. Why are we talking about joy? This is really important. So if you're a fellow millennial, listen up. If you don't have the courage to look in and be happy and proud with where you are, knowing and recognizing where you've been, you can not literally appreciate the presence which joy requires, because joy is the overwhelming feeling of great pleasure, and it requires you to be present. No looking behind or looking forward, no wondering about the next task or the next big dream. It's to be in the moment. This brings us to the second thing you need, presence. You need to be present to experience joy. Unfortunately, we must talk about the uncertain events which have surrounded the last year and a half. For many of us, we've been living in unfamiliar terrain during the COVID pandemic. We have crammed spouses, children, work, school, and personal time into a literal small space. This is what I refer to as a bubble, because just like a bubble, there are clear boundaries of okay places and people to interact with inside our bubble. And then there's the vast outside of our bubble, the great unknown. Everyone's bubble looks different, no matter who you are or your family. It looks really different for those with mental or physical complications, or with family that lives in physical different locations. No matter where you are geographically or politically, this year has been unnerving. We have been constantly reminded of the unknowns of COVID. This has been through social media, TV, radio, and basically every conversation. It's virtually impossible to escape it. And with that, we have welcomed fear, anxiety, and stress that comes with the unknown. It's human nature, after all. So with everything going on inside and outside of our bubble, how do we function, let alone function at a high capacity rate, which family and work required? We do this by being present. We step into the moment. We make the choice to be here. When you're at home with your kids and you take your 5-minute break from work, this is gonna sound crazy. Actually, be with your kids. Play with your kids, talk to your kids, heck, even get down in the dirt with your kids. Allow yourself the opportunity to be there. I realize you can't do this all the time, but start to carve out 5 to 10 minutes here and there that you can. Talk to yourself. Hey, you can have 5 minutes. Don't worry about the groceries, the bill, the mortgage, the work commitment. Be here. You can have 5 minutes. About 2 months ago, I came downstairs to my husband and son. I wanted to tell my husband about some of the work hiccups I was having with a big project. So I was going into my self-centered story, and all of a sudden my son hopped up for the first time. It was awesome. My husband was jumping up and down, and I acknowledged somewhat this monumental occasion and continued right into my self-indulging story. My husband glared at me. Allison, did you see that? Suddenly, just like that, I was right there again. How could I have gotten so lost? How could I have not seen what was on the screen? How could I have been an actress so caught up in my role that I missed everything going on around me? I didn't know what to do. I instantly started to praise him, jump up and down. How was I so worried about the then that I missed the now? I missed this moment. We all have moments like this, moments that we steal from ourselves. Let that sink in. We rob ourselves of these moments. We take away this feeling, this amazing, wonderful feeling, by not being present. We do this by mentally going somewhere else. And that's okay, but we can learn to be present. Yes, it's a skill. It takes time and dedication, but it can be done. Remember earlier? Start slow with those baby steps. Recognize when you are going down a rabbit hole and slowly rope yourself back in to the present. Don't be unkind or judge yourself. Do this slowly. Joy is available to all. It's like a shooting star. If you're not gazing up and looking at the beautiful sky, you may miss it. But you may get lucky every once in a while and see one. However, the ironic part is the more you look, the more you see. Nearly a decade after my Joy Expedition started, it has been one of my greatest, most difficult journeys thus far. Needless to say, it's been self-reflective. I now experience joy in all parts of my life, and I have the pleasure of seeing it everywhere. For me, joy is turtle spotting right here in Howell Park with my toddler. It's watching my very happy husband come in excited to show me our single and very sad green bean growing in our garden. Or how about my niece calling, checking the mail, receiving the letter I sent? Or my grandma negotiating 5 more minutes of swim time with her great-grandson. It's my mom calling to tell me about babysitting, or my dad texting a picture of his fresh catch. No matter what, I see joy everywhere. For me, family brings a great amount of joy, but it's not limited to that section of my life. I enjoy and see the joy in the new murals in Mayport Road, at the Beam Food Drive at Winn-Dixie off Atlantic Boulevard, and seeing a friend and mentor for coffee after a year and a half of not being able to. Joy is no doubt all around us. I hope you have the courage to be present, to enjoy the presence of joy. Thank you for joining me today in the Life in Balance series. So we talked about joy. We got a good understanding of what it is and the different parts of it. It's really that simple, and it's available to you all the time. So whether you're having a cup of coffee in the morning, maybe you're dropping your toddler off at school, you're attending a Tai Chi class, or maybe just enjoying a park, joy is here for you. If you're maybe wondering the best way to find joy, it's to serve. Maybe spend an afternoon here locally. Go with Happy Hippie, go with Beam, or one of our other great nonprofits and give your time. The fastest way to joy is to give. So I hope you give yourself the opportunity to experience joy.